today actually, because what I want to talk about is very serious, very serious. It's quite late. It's past 1 a.m. here, but I can't remember what I was doing. But this came to mind, and it was so annoying. So I just felt like I had to talk about it. And the issue is that you need to have money before you can make money. That's the crazy part. You need money to make money. If you don't have money, it's going to be harder for you to make money. That's how crazy it is. Okay, the rich keep getting richer and the poor keep getting poorer because of access to funds, access to opportunities, and so many other things. Let's say, for example, now you don't have any money and you want to, let's say, start a business. How do you go about it? Of course, I know that you can start a business. When I started my first business, I started it with let me say 10,000 naira, and around that time, that was I think that was less than a little over $10, maybe let me say $15. That was what I started my first business with, but that's still money. And don't forget, at that time, I didn't have bills to pay. So it was easier for me to put aside that amount of money to start my business. But let's say someone who is a family man, who has a wife, who has kids to feed, how then does he start a business when he doesn't even have money in the first place? Now, the reason rich people start businesses and the reason poor people start businesses, two totally different things, honestly. Rich people start businesses to contribute to society, to probably there's something they have a vision for, a vision they want to bring to life. That's another reason they start businesses as hobbies, right? And then it turns to a business. They start businesses because they want to do something that has never been done before. But for people who live in poverty, their major aim of starting a business is simple. It's profit oriented. That's the major reason people who are poor start businesses, in order to make profits. The business is a game of survival, because they are on survival mode. What they're looking for is what they can eat for the day, how they can feed their kids. That's what's on their mind: survival. They're not thinking about giving back to the economy. They're not thinking about doing something because they love it or a hobby. What they're thinking of is how to make profits and how to survive. That's why poor people start businesses. So you can see that from the beginning, the aim for two of them is totally different, and you can see that in how the business is run, in the business structure, in the way the business is set up, okay, in their customer service, in everything. You can see everything about that based on, you can see the person's reasons for starting the business based on how they operate the business. Hi to everyone joining the live. You're welcome. Thank you for being here. Okay, we're discussing finances, business, wealth, and poverty. Those are the major topics we'll discuss. So if you want to even start a business, you need money to start the business. Now that's where the issue comes in. Okay, you would see, I was going through Instagram today, and someone was talking about, Rihanna's business. She has made like $1 billion and thereabouts, but they will not tell you that she started the business with millions of dollars as well. So that's the thing: someone who starts their business with tangible money will definitely reach a higher revenue than you who started your business with a little money. In fact, the growth rate of the both of you's business is going to be very different. Okay, starting your business without any with very low capital, because it's not possible to start a business with no capital. Even if you want to do an online business, the phone that you're going to use, you have to use a phone that has a good camera. If you're already living in poverty, chances that you don't have a good phone is already really high. Okay, so even if you're starting an online business, you need a phone that has a good camera so you can be snapping your products and services. You also need to make sure that you have data so that you're always online. You also need one or two other things before you can even start. So there's no such thing as starting the business without capital. You're definitely going to need capital anyways, no matter how little it is. Okay, so someone who starts their business with very little capital, you cannot compare to someone who starts their business with huge capital. The time that person with little capital is going to spend before they can become a big business, before they can balance out, before they can grow, it's definitely going to be longer than the person who started their business with a major capital. You can't compare. For example, you want to start a food business. Hi Faith, welcome to the live. It's nice to have you here. Thank you for joining in. You can just drop your suggestions or questions in the comment section. I'll be reading. Please let me know where you're joining in from. Thank you so much for being here. So as I was saying, the person who starts their business with very low capital, it will definitely take them a while before they are able to break even, right? Because they don't have that kind of funding. And don't forget, someone who is paying bills, who is paying their own bills, who is feeding themselves, paying rent, clothing them, it's going to take you much longer time than the person that is not paying all these bills. Because if you start a business, we already mentioned that people that they don't have a lot of money, they start the business for the sole aim of making profit. Okay, let's say you don't have a job and you're starting a business, it's because you want to make profits from that business, right? That's your sole aim. So whatever money that you're making from the business, it's definitely what you'll be surviving on. Okay, so you use the money that you make from the business, your profits, that's what you're using to pay bills, to feed yourself and every other thing. And if you've noticed, like people who are average or people who live below average, I mean people that don't have a lot of money, there sometimes, like in my area, I can't talk about the whole world, but in my area their businesses don't last for very long. You will see someone start a business today and in a month's time the business has closed up, and the major reason for that business closing is because they ate the capital, they spent the capital money in the business. Why is that? Because they use the business for survival. So by the time you eat the profit in the business, you would end up eating the capital that you use in starting the business. Do you understand? So the business will eventually close up. This is the issue with not having funding. This is the issue with being a small business owner. And don't forget, the economy keeps going up every day. Okay, the bills to pay keep going up every day. If you run a business, you will definitely have running costs. I don't care whether it's an online business or it's a brick and mortar business. If you run a business, you will definitely have running costs. What are your running costs? They are the things that you need to pay in order to facilitate the business running. Okay, as little as having a phone, as little as being able to pick up your phone and call, as little as being able to get props so you can snap your products properly, as little as following up. You would definitely need money, even paying your transport, moving from one place to the other, marketing your business. Because if you don't market, if you don't advertise, how do you get your business out there to your prospective customers? So you definitely need money. Anyhow you look at it, there are a million and one things that you need money for. Even if you start the business without capital, you definitely need money in order to continue running the business. So these are some of the issues that starting the business as starting a business as a small business owner. These are some of the issues you would face if you start a business without capital. It's a lot harder. Okay, if you start a business without having substantial funds, how do you market, how do you advertise? That's such a big question. And if you see small businesses advertising, the way that they advertise is very different from the way big businesses advertise. Okay, everything still falls back to funding. As a small business, like, you can have the ideas, but whatever idea that you have, you need money to facilitate it. I mean, everybody has ideas. Just go out and ask your neighbor, he's going to tell you that he has ideas. Everybody has ideas, but the major thing that will bring that idea to life is also funding. Okay, I don't know which idea that you can bring to life without having money. Okay, you definitely need money to bring your ideas to life, especially if you're in a third world country. If you're in a third world country, I'm sure things work differently than how it is in first world country. But if you're in a third world country where the system is not really working, we don't easily get access to funds like that over here. Okay, and there's no such thing as credit. If you don't have the money cash in hand, then you don't have it. Hi Adrian, thanks for being here once again. It's so nice to have you on the live. I hope you had a great day. I hope you're doing well. Thanks for being here. You can just tell me how your day went in the comments. I'll be reading. So yeah, moving on. So if you're not running a business, okay, if you're not running a business, people are going to tell you can learn a skill. Okay, for people that don't want to go into product-based business, they'll say, okay, you can learn a skill. But even to learn a skill, is it free? It's not. Like, if you're going to learn a skill, you'll be learning from someone else who already knows that skill, and no one is going to teach you their knowledge for free, unless probably you are their family member. But if you're not their family member, why would they teach you their skill or their knowledge for free? Nobody learns anything for free, and even if they learnt it for free, even if you don't pay any money to learn it, you definitely paid in time and you paid in effort. So something that you spent your time, probably years, and you spend a lot of effort learning it, why would you give that knowledge away for free? It's very difficult. That's why I said unless they are your family member before they can teach you for free. Thank you, Faith. I see all your comments. I appreciate. Unless they can teach you for free. So even if you want to learn a skill, you will need money to learn it, because you must either buy a course. You buy a course or you pay your coach. That's it. That's just it. So and then again, um even if you want to learn the skill online, let's say you want to watch YouTube videos to learn the skill and you practice over and over. The thing about learning a skill without having a coach or without paying for a course is that something that a coach will tell you in 1 week, you might probably use 2 months to learn it online. That's the fact of the matter. Though many people are quick to say, okay, I can learn it from YouTube. You can actually learn it from YouTube, but the time frame is not the same. Cole McLaren. Okay. Thanks for your comments. So yeah, the time you use in learning is not the same. The time frame is definitely not the same. Okay, because what a coach can tell you in a short period of time, if you're learning it by yourself, it's going to take you a longer time to understand it. Okay, and sometimes it's not just the knowledge you're paying for, you're also paying for the understanding, because the way every teacher teaches you, the way every coach breaks things down is very different. And some things are not said on face value. Some things you actually need someone else to interpret it for you and hold your hands through it. Okay, for example, now I've been trying to learn something and I've been learning online. The issue with me learning that thing online is that when I make a mistake, I'm usually not aware because there's no one to correct me. Okay, but if I were in class or if I had a coach, the moment I make a mistake, they can tell me that this thing is a mistake. So whatever you're learning online, I just feel like it's going to take you a longer time than if you had someone to hold your hand and walk you through. So yes, you can learn online, but it's different for everybody. Some people are slow learners, some people are fast learners. There are some things I've noticed that I learn fast, and the other things that I learn really slowly. So you have to know yourself and you have to understand yourself. Thank you so much, Cole McLaren, for subscribing. I'm so grateful. Thank you for being here. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up as well. Thank you for subscribing. Welcome to the community, my little my little support community. You're welcome. So yeah, back to the topic. You need money to make money, honestly, and it's really sad. Like, it's so crazy. This is why the rich keep getting richer and the poor keep getting poorer, because the poor people don't have access to opportunities. They don't have the net worth. Okay, they don't even have access to knowledge. I think knowledge is one of the things that actually plagues people, because they don't have that knowledge. They don't have the ideas that, okay, this is how I'm supposed to go about it. But if you grow up privileged, along the way you get to be exposed to all these ideas just because of where you went to school, the kind of friends that you have, the kind of neighborhood that you live in, the kind of church that you attend, the kind of parents that you have. You can get this exposure. Okay, but if you're someone that did not grow up with privilege, you might not have access to all these ideas and knowledge and all of that. There are some people that you see them, they bloom later in life because it took them a longer time to get the kind of information that people who are privileged get. I mean, the thing about life is that life generally is not fair. That's the fact. Life generally is not fair. Someone who is born to influential parents, okay, they have influence, they have money, grow up in a nice neighborhood, you go to school, go to the best school around and everything. Somehow life just puts you ahead of the person that's probably you only have one single parent, one broke single parent. You grew up in a very rowdy, unsafe environment. You go to the cheapest school, you only hang out with cheap friends in a cheap neighborhood. It's going to take you a longer time to catch up to the person that was born in having money. I'm not someone that is going to act like money is not important. Money is important, okay? There's many other things in life that can fuel you becoming somebody, becoming successful, but money is almost at the top of it. That's the truth. I mean, you can say, okay, if you're smart, if you have ideas, you can, if you're good looking, you can leverage on that, but it's never the same. Like, it's not the same like having generational wealth. That's the truth. Like, it's someone that is born at the bottom. It's going to take you a long time, and it's going to take you, like, you have to work like 10 times harder to meet up with someone who was born privileged. Hi, Junior. Nice to have you here. Thank you for joining the lives. Always nice to see you. I'm always so excited every time I see you, Junior. Thanks for keeping up with me. I appreciate. Exactly, Adrian. If you stay focused and put your heart, mind, and soul into whatever you want to do, you can achieve it. I'm just saying that realistically, if you are born at the bottom, you need to know and understand that you need to work 5 times or 10 times harder than the people who are already born at the top. Okay, so both of you don't have the same reality. I've seen some people that live in denial. Okay, they want to do the same things that people at the top are doing. You can't do the same things that they are doing because both of you don't have the same privileges. Not because of how you look or how you act, but based on life has just put you, both of you, at different places. Okay, there's some people at the bottom and I see them and they're really smart, they're really good looking, but they don't have the same life that people up there have, just because of how they were born, just because of the family that they were born into. mm, okay, Junior, I'm reading your comments. Yeah, it's super late actually, but you're always working. Thank you for you work in medical field, so thank you for saving lives. Thank you for saving lives, literally. So yeah, Adrian, I acknowledge the fact that if you work really hard and if you stay focused, you can achieve a lot. But I'm just saying that life puts us in two different, like, the day we are born, life has kind of already decided where we are going to start from. Some people start at the bottom, some people start in the middle, some people start up there. I'm just saying that naturally it's a disadvantage for people who are born at the bottom. There are like, how many celebrities do we have? Like, I know we hear a lot of stories of, okay, I was born in the ghetto and I grew up and now I'm successful. But out of 100 people, only like two of them make it out of that ghetto life. And that's facts. Out of like 100 people, only two of them make it out of that ghetto life. You might probably hear like 10 people say, okay, I was born in the ghetto, but I worked so hard, I was so focused, and now I'm up there. But that's a minority in the majority. That's what I'm trying to see. And for people who have made it out, they may, okay, they might probably tell you, but you need to know that they've had to work 10 times harder than their age mates who were already born up there. Okay, besides working 10 times harder, you don't know the things that they have involved themselves with. Okay, they might probably have had to do some things that ordinarily they would not have done. Because man, like, I'm just like it's this, I don't know, but this topic is it's painful in a way. It's just painful, but that's life. Life is not fair to everybody. Okay, and everybody doesn't get equal opportunities. There are some people that, if they even have half of the opportunity that other people have, they will be farther in life. But realistically, a lot of, like, some people don't get opportunities. Okay, some people are not just privileges, and they work hard. Honestly, they work hard. They even work harder than people that have money. But sometimes life is just a mixture of favor, grace, opportunities. That's life. Sometimes it's not that some people have worked harder, but maybe they just had grace, they just had favor. That's actually some people's life story. Grace and favor. Okay, some people work so much harder. They wake up very early in the morning and they sleep late, but they don't even have a lot of money to show as evidence for how hard they work. And some people, we all have different responsibilities. There are some people that they're feeding children, feeding their parents, feeding their spouse. Okay, let's say they have 5 children, they have 2 parents, they have spouses, they have siblings. They are the breadwinner, they carry everybody's responsibilities. Okay, they're like the champion of their community. You cannot compare it to someone who only pays their own bills. Okay, so if I only pay my bills in a month, the amount of money I'll probably be able to save up will be more than someone who has so much responsibilities on their shoulder. Okay, I can probably afford more fancy things because, I mean, all I think about is myself. So I can save maybe 60% or 70% of my salary to, like, spend on things just to make me look cool, make me look good. But someone who has a lot of responsibilities cannot take out that percentage for themselves. Okay, because the money is, in fact, the money is already spent even before they receive it. Okay, everyone has their own race. Exactly, everybody has their own race. It's not really easier for anybody because circumstances that everybody faces is different. Some people have financial problems, okay? There are some people that don't have financial problems, but they have a lot of mental problems. That's very true. Some people don't have financial problems, but they have a lot of mental problems. And sometimes you even begin to wonder which one is worse. Is it better to have financial problems, or is it better to have mental problems? None of them is even okay. None of them is better. But the point is that everybody faces challenges, and there are some challenges that you cannot see, which is why basically don't envy anybody, because you have no idea what they go through in their closet. You have no idea what they go through in their personal life. Some people are really going through a lot. They may have money, but money is not everything. There are certain things that money cannot solve. Okay, some people have health challenges even though they have a lot of money. Some people are stuck in bad marriages even though they have a lot of money. Some people still feel really unhappy. They feel unfulfilled. They feel miserable despite that they have a lot of money. So basically, money is not everything. Money is something, okay, and money is important, but money is not everything. People who have money still face other challenges in life. Okay, for people who don't have money, their greatest challenge could be, money. If you get money, it can be solved. But for people that have money, they have other challenges that money cannot solve. Okay, so yeah. But the point still remains that you need money to make money. Okay, for someone, let's say someone has $500 and someone has $5,000. Okay, the both of them were to invest. The person that has $5,000 probably got a loan of $5,000 would actually earn more than the person that just had access to $500. And that's how you build wealth. I think one of the most important things in building wealth is compound interest. And what is compound interest? Compound interest is accumulation of, like, the money that you make accumulates year by year by year by year. Okay, that's why you can be 40 and be a billionaire. Okay, because you've been grinding since you were like 17, so you've been grinding for 23 years. Okay, as opposed to someone that has only been grinding for like 5 years. Okay, the amount of money that they will make in that period is not the same thing, because money compounds. Honestly, like, money compounds. Like, I've even noticed it even in my life. Okay, so which is why the earlier you start, the better for you. Okay, because even if you're investing, for those who invest in stocks, for those who invest in different things, whatever it is that you're investing in, you would notice that the money, like, the more you leave the money there, the more the money gets higher, the more the money compounds. Okay, so compound interest is really, really something that a lot of people leverage on. Compound, I think I've read the book. I think I even have the book. It should be in my bookshelf. I have that book. I think I've read it. Yeah. So, like, if you read the book exactly, like, what he's talking about in the book, that's also what I'm trying to say. And it's real. Like, I've seen it happen like so many times around me. Like my environment. It's real. It's really real. Money compounds. Okay, which is why people who are born into wealth can leverage on that and, make more money. Okay, but if you're starting from the bottom, it's harder for you to, like, leverage on that. Yeah, but, like, it's if you start grinding early, like maybe when you're 20 years old, it's easier for you to maybe want to retire at 50, because you've been making money for a long time and your money has now compounded. Don't forget that if you're just starting out, there's a lot of things that you have to settle. Like, when you make like your first million or whatever, there's a lot you have to settle, like outstanding debts. You may probably get a home for yourself, get a car and all of that. So once you have basic things, like you have a house, you have a car, you probably have a store for your business or things like that. Now, the money that you have, you will not be spending it on those major things, because you've already gotten the major things due to the money that you made earlier. So you actually come up richer than you actually are in paper. I don't know if you get me, because you already have those things that add to your status already, like the money, the cars. Once you have them, now all you really need to focus on is, the money that you spend daily. So you actually appear richer than you actually are in reality. So yeah, but all the same, you really need money to make money. And I was just thinking about it, and it's so crazy. Honestly, it's so crazy that people who have money can easily double their money more than you that doesn't even have, because you don't have anything to double. I just think about it and I feel like it's a little bit unfair, that life automatically places us in places where you just know that you have to be working 20 times harder for you to even make it out of the situation that you are currently in. Even when we talk about taking loans, some people have access to a higher loan than you would probably have. Some people can get probably like 1 million in loan, and you all that you have access to, because this loan companies, they look at certain things. They look at your track record, they look at if you have anything to give as collateral and other things like that. So some people have access to a higher loan, some people don't. But anyways, we're going to wake up every day and do our absolute best and just pray that our best is enough. Okay, that's just it. We're just going to wake up every day and put in our best shots and hope that our best is enough. But you do need money to make money, no matter how little. You need money to make money. If you want to start a business, even if you want to start a service-based business, because when we say business, sometimes people think about product-based business, that's like buying and selling or manufacturing. I think it's even harder to go into manufacturing, because manufacturing requires that you have a tangible amount of capital before you begin, okay, because of your equipment, raw materials, and all of that. But if you are buying and selling, you just need enough money to be able to buy your first batch of goods, and then you start advertising before you sell. And if you don't have the money to buy your first batch of goods, or you don't want to, you can do drop shipping or affiliate marketing, so you have enough money to buy your own goods. And some businesses are easy to start than others, which is why you see a lot of people in a certain line of business, because it's cheaper to start. Actually, that's the word, not easier. It's cheaper to start. So you see a certain amount of people in a certain line of business, because those ones are, they require less capital at the starting. But when you want to go into things like manufacturing, or you want to go into like more bigger business, there are certain business that require bigger capital to start. Only see few people in that line of business. It's not like other people don't want to do that business, so, but it's just that they don't have the financial means to do it. And some businesses also require that you know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody, meaning that you cannot just wake up and start that business, okay, because your customers are not going to be ordinary people. You need to be in a certain you need to belong to a certain network for you to be able to market that business, because it's not something that any random person will just come and buy from you, especially luxury businesses. Your neighbor is not going to buy from you. If you are a low class citizen, your neighbor is not going to buy a luxury item from you, because they can't afford it. Let's start from there. They can't afford it, and even when they can, they have a lot of things to spend money on. So it's probably once in a while that they're going to want to splurge on something like that. But if you belong to a higher network, everybody that you know can afford to spend their money on that luxury item. So your network actually determines a lot. Your environment, the people that you're surrounded with, it determines a lot. The kind of business that you go into. Even in marriage, like the people that you are surrounded with also determines in marriage. You would hear some people say that the only people that are around them are low quality people. Well, that's because of probably where you live, or the kind of friends that you have, or the kind of associations that you have. So there are a lot of things involved in making money. Honestly, it's not just about the knowledge. There, like, I've seen so many people that have ideas, but they don't have access to either funding. They don't have access to the network that would probably help them enhance their business. It's just a lot of things. Now, there's one thing that they say in life: it's not about who you know, it's about who knows you. Because you might know people, you might know a lot of people, maybe influential people, powerful people, but those people don't know you, and they don't acknowledge you, and they don't like have regard for you. They're not going to be of any use to you, okay. But if they know you, they would even reach out to you, okay, which is why now everybody's trying to expand their social network, okay? Everybody's trying to get known, because money follows attention. That's facts. Money follows attention, okay? Money goes where attention goes. Attention is like a currency, okay? If all eyes are on you, you can profit off of that. You can profit off the attention that you're getting. I mean, not everybody profits off it, but if you're wise, if you're smart, if you're financially literate, you would know that when attention is on you, that's a means, that's an avenue for you to make money out of it. Whether it's good attention, whether it's bad attention, doesn't really matter actually. As long as eyes are on you, as long as attention is on you, you can find a way to milk the situation. Because one thing about attention is that it moves fast, okay. I'm talking about in business for money. Okay, okay. You don't think it's about attention from men. I think that's okay. I guess that's true. It depends on the line of business you're in. Okay, but people knowing who you are the one they need for what they look. Okay, I think that's kind of like the same thing. Probably I'm wording it wrong, but people knowing you is the same thing as their focus being on you. Um, I think about actually trying to say the same thing, or I think I was saying what you are saying now. But yeah, you're also very right. You're also very correct. It's about people knowing that you are the person that they need for that particular thing actually. So, because once they know you, there's something that someone says. No, it's fine, it's fine. No need to apologize, it's fine. We're actually on the same page. One thing that someone says is that it's not about who can do that thing best. It's not about you being the best at that thing. It's about you being the one that people know. You can be very good at something, but people don't know that you are very good at that thing. Then they cannot call you for the job. They cannot use your services. They cannot like offer you a contract or anything because they don't know you. So it's not about you just being the best in what you do, which is why advertising and marketing are still going to be relevant. Um let's say relevant, what would I call it now, but advertising and marketing are still going to be relevant for years to come, because if you run a business or you offer services, you still need people to know that you do this particular thing. Okay, and as the days go, depends on what you do, but exactly when okay, yes, people will look for you because they know that you are the best, but if people don't know that you are the best, how will they look for you? It's still all about being known. Okay, because when you are the best and nobody knows that you are the best, how then would they look for you? Okay, but if you are the best and people know that you are the best, definitely they will look for you. But if nobody knows that you are really good at this thing that you do, then how are they going to look for you? It's just because some people are not very vocal about what they do. I'm not saying they should be overly loud, but people need to know what you are into. Okay, if you want money while being a good doctor, just be a very good doctor and money will definitely, exactly, be good at what you do, but then also people have to know that you're good at what you do. Yes, exactly, you're also right, you're very very correct. If you're good, like if you're very good at what you do, you don't even need to say too much, because people will help you to tell other people that you are really good at what you do. You're right. When you are good, most people will tell about you, most people will talk about you actually. So your work should speak for itself. That's a very good point. Your work should actually speak for itself. So whatever you're doing, do it with excellence, okay? Because you never know who might see you, you never know who might find you, you never know who might come across your work. So whatever it is that you're doing, do it with excellence, so that anybody that sees that work, no, there's something that they say, there's no small job and there's no big job. Because every job, no matter big or small, every job is a reflection of you. Everything that you do, everything, every career that you belong to, every business service that you offer, whatever product that you sell, every single contact with someone who is your client or your customer or your patient, any single contact with that person is a reflection of you, your values, and your work. So there's no small clients, there's no big clients. All clients are relevant, because whatever work that you or service that you offer is a reflection of you. Okay, so if you sell a bad product today, that's a reflection of you. You can't say, oh, this customer was irrelevant. No, it's not about the person receiving it, it's about the person giving it. Okay, so whatever you are giving has to be excellent. Whatever you're putting out there has to be your best at all times, because what you do consistently is a reflection of you. It's not waiting to get like a big client or a big customer, then you put your perfect one out there. No, if you deliver mediocre things every day, then somehow that will become who you are. You cannot save your best for who you think is most worthy of it. Everything that you put out, whatever you do, is a reflection of you. Okay, and sometimes we forget that that's how we get our reputation, that's how we get our image. Exactly like you said, if you're good, people will talk about you. Same way, if you're bad at what you do, people will still tell other people that, oh, you're not that good at what you do, that you're kind of bad. So yeah, every every customer that we attend to, every client, every patient is a reflection. They add to our reputation actually. Everybody that's come across you has something to say, though you cannot control the entire narrative, but always make sure that you are putting in your best wherever you can. Okay, I know that nobody is a robot, so you cannot be 100% every day, but just do your best to be sure that whatever you're putting out there is definitely your best. Yeah, so basically in life, just gives your best shots with hard work, with prayer, with grace, with favor, with leveraging opportunities, dedication, perseverance, resilience, consistency, and always hope to see everyone at the top. Yes, if you are good and you know how to handle relationship, then it's way faster and better. That's true. Because relationships with people matter a lot. How you're able to relate with people, how you're able to take feedback from people. Because some people, if you don't do your job properly, or they feel like you didn't do your job properly, they're going to come back and they will probably lay complaints. So how you take those complaints also really important. If you're harsh or defensive, the person that you're talking to would feel some certain type of way, and they might never want to use your services again or be in contact with you. But if you're willing to understand where you're coming from and see where the issue is not you or them. The issue is probably the service that they got from you was not up to what they were expecting. So I think, what if you offer a service, if you're a business person or even a career person, you should know how to take feedback, with grace, with class, and be able to dissect it and see where the issue is coming from, without feeling less of yourself, without being defensive, without blaming the person that is giving the um, feedback. So yeah, how you relate to people matters a whole lot. So I think I'll be ending this live now. I've said everything that I have to say. Um I was just doing something and it came to my mind that you really need money to make money, and it can be really sad how everybody doesn't have the same opportunities. There's people that wake up and they want to start a business, and overnight they can raise a good amount to help them. And there's some people that they want to start a business, they don't know anybody and they don't have any means of raising the money. So we all have different opportunities. We're all given different. Yeah, exactly. Money calls money. You're right. Money calls money. The more money that you have, the easier it is to make money. I will not say easier, because not everybody that has money actually has financial literacy. But financial literacy is something that you can learn. You can learn it faster than you can even make money. Okay. So yeah, and if you already have money, it's easier to multiply what you already have than when you are starting from zero. So yeah, that would be all for today. Thank you, Junior, for joining in. Are you you're still working much longer, or are you almost done with what you're doing? Having money is not everything. That's very true. That's very, very true. Okay, Junior. Thank you for being on the live. You're still here. Okay, I'm going to bed already. It's quite late and I had a long day. But thank you so much. It's always lovely to have conversations with you. I think you're quite smart and experienced in life. I think you're intelligent. It's always nice to rub minds with you, to hear your thoughts, to hear your ideas, to see your point of view. It's always very lovely. Relationship between animals and palliative care patients. Who are palliative care patients? Are those like people that need special attention, or people admitted into the hospital? Palliative care patients. I have no idea who those are. Okay. Oh, like people with terminal illnesses. So, so how do animals relate to people who cannot be cured? Okay, don't worry. I feel like this is going to be like a really lengthy explanation. So I don't know if something that you can even explain to me via writing in the comment section. Um Animals are people that cannot be cured. Yeah, yeah, exactly. I figured that it's going to be very, very deep. I'm not a science student. I don't like know so much about medicine, and because I don't understand it as much, I guess, because I never really put so much effort into understanding it. I'm more of like a literature student, an art student. Yeah, That's me. Thank you so much for your research. I assume that this research is going to be contributing towards curing people who have incurable diseases. Animals can help them to feel better. Is it what you take out of the animals? And yeah, I don't want to come up with any crazy theory here, but like animals can help them to feel better in what way? Complete the sentence now, don't leave me hanging, because if you just tell me this first sentence, you've left me to be thinking about, okay, how do animals help them feel better? And I'll be like going through that in my head. So you have to explain to me how the animals can I help them to feel better. Okay, just being okay, yeah, okay. But that's for people who like animals. For people like me that are not like really interested in animals, I don't think so. But I'll never get to that point in Jesus' name, so I'll never find out. Okay, okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense. Okay. All right, Shinya. Thank you so much for your contribution to humanity. I will be seeing you next time that I go on live. Do take care of yourself and keep doing what you're doing, Dr. Junior. Thank you for your contribution to humanity. May the good Lord reward you. It's always cool to have you here too. Bye.